So we'll look at the name attribute more. Let me just introduce you to the checkboxes. Similar to the radio field, we also can have checkboxes like interests. So one person can have multiple interests. So we can have checkboxes like if you add just checkbox type to the input field and name it as interests, and you can call it cricket, and one more checkbox for football, more checkbox for cooking. Now if you go, okay, let me add a line break. Yeah, so yeah, we have our interest field. So now in checkbox we can have multiple interests. We can even uncheck them. So the form needs to get submitted to the server, so where the data gets stored, whatever you're gonna enter in the website. So for a button, for the submit button more specifically, we can have a input type submit. And this submit type actually gonna add a button for us. And we can have a break. Okay, submit. So when you click on this submit button, it actually generates a query like this. You can see name and phone. So similar to the here you can see. So when you submit, we have this name and phone. If you add some values over here like this, and in the phone number we can have phone numbers and submit, you can see it is generating a query, and this query is having the attribute and a value for that, and this value is getting from here, and this value, this attribute name and this phone is getting from here. We name it name, and we can even name it first name. If you like, refresh and submit it again, it is first name. So this is gonna be used by our server side processing. So this is why name fields are required. I mean, it is a good practice to add name fields. So, and you must be wondering that why we are not having the other fields over here, like gender. So since we haven't selected any gender, so that's why it is not appearing. Like if we select any gender, like let's say male, and if we add some interests and submit, so now you can see we have gender equals to, okay, it says on. I just show you why it is saying gender equals to on, and at the interest we have this interest equal to on again. Let me just show you why it is having this on and on. So whenever we add checkboxes and this radio buttons, we also specify a value attribute for each, which actually contains the value. It doesn't take the value from this raw text. We should specify the value for this. Since we are getting the value for this text and number from the input field, so we don't specify value for them. Since these are the things which is hard coded, so we should specify the value for these. Email, and this for others, we should have others. Okay, and similar for these checkboxes, we should have value like this. And if you just go and save and hit refresh, and if I try to submit the form again, you can see we have this gender equal to male, and we have interest equal to cricket and interest equal to football. So we have two interest attributes for each interest. So it is now working fine. So similar to the radio and check boxes, we also can have a select field, uh, label, inside this label select course. So since we can have courses like multiple courses, maybe more than 10, 20, and out of them we have to select only one. So if you add like multiple radio buttons for them, it will just look weird, you can see. So that is why we don't use radio buttons for like where we have multiple and more than 10 select. So we use select for that. To use select, we can use select tag, and inside this select tag we can have option, and inside this option we can actually pass the option, the tag BCA poly, and not poly, we should be like diploma, yeah, and maybe PhD, maybe masters, and so on. So let me just save and hit refresh, and yeah, so we have now our select field. We can select from one of the value. Similarly we are selecting for one of the radio button. So similar to the radio and check boxes, we should add value attribute for each of them. Now I have added the value for each field. Now we can submit the form, select course BCA, and submit. Now we have, okay, we don't have, okay, now I forgot to add the name. So we have to specify the name for this field. Actually this is a single field, so this should have a name to actually uh, get, so this, then only we can have this field in the server to process. So we can name our select field as course, and if you just save it and go to page, hit refresh and try to submit it once again. Okay, now we have our course at the end, it is beta. So now we can start with HTML tables. Before starting with HTML tables, let me just give you an overview of table structure. So this is a simple table over here. So you can see we have table headings like age. We have table headings for each column. This is a column, and we have table column heading for each column, last name, first name, and EMP-ID. And this part is called as table head, and this part is called as table body, and this is table head. So now let's start our HTML tables. To start with HTML tables, let me add a division and a heading, HTML tables. And to start with tables, we actually use table tag, and inside this table tag first we should specify the all the headings of the column. So if you see, it is a row. If you see, this is a row, and this row contains the heading of each column. So our first row, so we add row by adding a tr tag. So we have added a row, and inside the row we want table headings. So we add table headings by th tags. So if you add th tags, and inside this th tag we can have name heading, and then we can have phone, and then we can have gender. Now we have table headings row created, and now we can create the data row, and which is gonna be containing our data. And we don't use th over here, we use td, which is a table data. Since first we have our name, so first we're gonna add the name, and the other we're gonna add the phone number, and then we'll add the gender. And if you go save and go back to our page and hit refresh, we have our table. So yeah, you can see we have this table heading in the bold text, name, phone and gender, and then we have our first set of data. Similarly, we can have multiple rows with multiple values, you can see. So that is why if you add the td tag instead of th tag, you can see it is not actually a bold. You can use that, you can use td tag, but it is a good practice to use th tags for table headings. Yeah, to actually separate the table head part from the table body, you can even put the table head inside the t head tag. You can put the whole heading thing inside the t head tag, and this whole data, the rest of the rows which holds the data, we can put that thing inside the t body tag like this, and save it and refresh. And yeah, obviously there is nothing gonna change over here, but it will add a more structure to our table. So that's all for this video, guys. We have learned about the HTML forms and tables. We looked at the different input fields like custom input fields, radio buttons, checkboxes, and so far we are going great. So that's me signing off for this video. Share this video with whomsoever need this, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you.